On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. We have one dude that's messed this up for everybody. It's not going to be the entire show, obviously, but if you think about it from the big picture, if you think about it from the corruption, from the standpoint of the deep state running us for God knows how long, when you come at it from those angles and you realize how much stuff has recently fallen and how balls are moving. Now, everybody's very end result focused. It's I do manifesting, coaching, and crap like that too, like I had or used to. And everybody's very focused on the end result. And one of the things people just can't accept or wrap their heads around is if the end result hasn't happened yet, they get pissed. And because of that, we just, screw it, it's not happened. And I keep trying to use references such as baking a cake. Baking a cake is a process. At any one point in that process, if you were to look at the thing, well, minus the end, and look at the thing and be like, is this a cake? No, this sucks. You got a bunch of flour, eggs, separate ingredients, and you're pissed off because it's not a cake yet. Or I mix all those together and now I got batter, and I'm pissed off because it's not a cake yet. Or finally, I put the batter in a pan and shove it in the oven. Immediately open the oven door. It's not a cake yet. But once I've waited the allotted time and open the door, well, good God, there's a cake. And that is exactly what's happening to us, society, people, everyone. We are the leaders of this pack. We're the leading edge of the wing, as they say, because we are the first ones to kind of hit the turbulence. And we smooth it out for everybody behind us. We're the lead bird in the big V, right? And that's what we're doing. These guys are screwing it up for themselves. Whether they're playing their part, whatever. I don't think that's the case. I think Tim Walz is literally just so stupid and they got so greedy and they went so hard that, and I think they were going to keep Trump out. So they figured they could get away with it because who's ever going to look into it? So they went harder and harder and harder. And it's all coming home to roost. And it's fantastic times. I want to start here because this is funny as hell. Donald Trump talking about two things that Melania, well, maybe there's more, but this is the only two he's sharing with us at the moment. But Melania's not really fan of the dancing at all. And I think there's one other thing he talks about, too, that she's not real happy about.
Wife hates when I do this. She said, she's a very classy person, right? She said, it's so unpresidential. I said, but I did become president. She hates when I dance. I said, everybody wants me to dance. Darling, it's not presidential. She actually said, could you imagine FDR dancing? She said that to me. And I said, there's a long history that perhaps she doesn't know. Because he was an elegant fellow, even as a Democrat, right? He was the attack by Japan, he was quite elegant. But he wouldn't be doing this. But nor would too many others. But she says, darling, please, the weightlifting is terrible. And I have to say this, the dancing they really like. She said, they don't like it, they're just being nice to you. I said, that's not right. The place goes crazy. They're screaming, dance, please. But the weightlifting, but no, the girl gets up. And you see, I want to be more, but I have somebody watching. I want to be more effusive. I want to really, But she gets it, drops the thing, walks off the stage crying. Her mother's crying, her father's crying. Guy gets up. He said, have you lifted before? A little bit. And he walks up. Bing. He could have gone ding, 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 ding. I think it was 112 pounds, huh? It's crazy.
Again, just, you got to appreciate the fact that Trump is Trump. We lucked out, guys. We lucked out. It's time for us to step up to the plate and do our part. Trump, cracked it, got on base, got us moving. I don't know why I'm using all sorts of weird-ass analogies today. Leftist petition to deport Nicki Minaj for attending the Turning Point event. The left is crazy. They so hate Nicki Minaj. Again, very happy I featured her the other day for music, just because what she's going through and the fact that she deserves to be celebrated for that. She's also from Trinidad, I guess, is where she's from. So she's not even a green card holder, I think, or she's not a citizen yet. I'm sure she wants to be, which is probably why she's a little more outspoken as well. So, yeah, a lot of things about Nicki Minaj that maybe many of us assumed to be the case because of show business, but I think a lot of times just because somebody's in a business and people choreograph you in a certain way and you do things and you're like, oh, if I do this thing over my eye, then that's cool, right? Not knowing exactly what that implies. So there's a lot. I mean, some of these people are definitely bad, unquestionably. But I think things are a lot more complex, and many of us are very binary thinking, or what is it, the zero-sum thinking, I think was also used sometimes. So again, that's pretty cool that she's doing this. What I thought was interesting is of people that will likely get thrown to the curb, Ilhan Omar is most likely one of them. They found some more money laundering, racketeering, and all this. This unfortunately is not worth the 3 minutes that they are, because we got so much other crap. But yeah, stuff's coming out about it, Ilhan Omar, and it's not good for her. So stick a fork in it might be a good thing to say about PBS, folks, because they are done. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which funds PBS, votes to dissolve after 58 years amid funding cuts. Good job, guys. Good job. Again, it's kind of weird, but at the same time, when you understand it's been communist broadcasting for our whole life. Dan Bongino posted this, and I'm going to read it. It's got some cuss words, so calm down. And for those of you that like him, hell yeah. He says, good to see you. I missed you. Thanks for everything. While we worked on cleaning up, working in the administration was the experience of a lifetime. I'll have some announcements coming up, but I'm taking a couple of days to spend with the family. A couple of things. Thank you for your interest in the show and its return date. We will have something for you soon. Next, the Trump team is not kidding around. It's an otherworldly experience from the other side. He's a determined and focused, and having been around quite a few presidents, this one broke the mold. If we blocked you, it's because we care so little about your bullshit that we deem it not worthy of even seeing. If you're bitching and whining about it, that means you can't exist without seeing and commenting on ours. You'll need to get over that. We do it because there's nothing black pillars and anti-Trumpers want more than to create division and drama. We're about results, and we'll talk about some of it soon. Love you all, and thanks again. Flaming Elmo emoji. I'm not sure exactly which emoji that is, but that's fantastic. Again, a lot of people don't get it, and a lot of people think that if someone blocks them, that's somehow banishing their free speech, and it's not. It's people trying to ruin the experience for others, like people that talk really, really loud during a movie. Well, that's free speech, but you're ruining the experience for everyone else. They didn't pay money to listen to you or hecklers in a show or whatever. So this is when people get blocked. If you get blocked, it's probably because you're annoying. And if you've been permanently blocked, it's probably because you're very annoying. Guess what? So that's something that I think everybody's got to understand. And I think his take on it. I'm not saying I've blocked anyone recently or anything. I've blocked a butt ton of people, though. But not recently. It's not like it didn't come up. I just appreciated the fact that he said it. That every once in a while, someone says something and I'm like, oh, you get it. Of course he does. I understand what he totally knows. It's the other way around, really. But again, it's nice to have people that understand how this business is definitely weird. Okay, so we are being attacked. I've talked about this. I put a show out recently where I said we're at war. I'm not messing around on that at all. And this is part of it. And I'm going to say right now, and this isn't from me, okay, and this is a warning to you guys, not by me. I have nothing to do with this, okay? I'm just saying from what's happening, I would be very cautious as a House of Representative member because it does seem like the chance of somebody injuring them, especially if you're Republican, specifically if you're Republican, there's a likelihood that your life might be at risk right now. So I would say it would be probably wise to be careful. Marjorie Taylor Greene's out till March. House GOP Representative Doug LaMalfa passes away. He was from California. He died, 65. I don't know what he died from, and it doesn't frankly matter. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's very sad, by the way. I mean, again, either side of the fence. But with Marjorie Taylor Greene also out, that leaves us the majority at 218-213. Now, I don't know if that's taking into account this. Indiana GOP rep Jim Baird responsive after a car accident. He's responsive, but he's been injured. He was in a car accident. So thank God he's okay. They didn't manage to off him. But this is what's going on right now, guys. They literally 218-213. They smoke out 5 of these guys, or, and here's for sure, keep this in the back of your mind, or keep the feather in your cap. There's probably 1, 2, or 3, maybe more, that are willing to become Democrats or independents and screw the majority. If 5 people, 6, I guess, I don't know how it would work in a tie. Probably been there before, but if 5 people decide they don't want to be reps or want to be independent now, then all of a sudden that majority's gone. We've got a interesting situation, guys, and they want to get control of the House in some way, probably for impeachment purposes. Think about it. This is going to be one of their last moves. Now, I don't think they're going to be able to pull it off. I think they're prepared for this, I hope. They're better at gaming out stuff than I, but this, you can see it coming. This is like, that's going to be a big wave. Oh, boy. Donald Trump posted this. The incredible people of Kentucky's 4th Congressional District who want desperately to get rid of Thomas Massie, the worst Republican congressman we have had in many years, gave us a mandate to make America great again. The person that will help us do the job and do it right is Navy SEAL, Army Ranger, 5th-generation Kentucky farmer, and American hero, Captain Ed Gallerin. True patriot. So Ed's going to be running. I don't want to read the rest of this. It's huge. But he's the guy. So thank God Thomas Massie has his replacement. Judge denies New Jersey Democrats' bid to dismiss the assault charges that stem from the ICE facility visit. This is that LaMonica McIver, the one that pushed the ICE agent in their scuffle. She claims that she was actually doing her legislative work, and I think where did they put it? What she was doing was protected by the Constitution's speech and debate clause, which protects lawmakers from prosecution for official legislative actions. And the judge is like, that's interesting. They ruled that McIver's actions were not protected by clause because her visit was tied to her oversight duties and was not legislative. Oops. Oh no, doesn't look like that's going to work either. Court cannot find that defendant's alleged conduct was legislative in nature, Semper wrote. And this gentleman's name is, there he is, Judge Jamel Semper. But he had an 8-page ruling. Her conduct was not tied to potential legislation or any other policy-making purpose. And that's kind of a hard way to start. So we'll see what continues to happen. Texas Democrat Jasmine Crockett melts down, screams F you at the Supreme Court over the GOP favored maps. Yeah, they're all panicking. I'm not going to play it, her saying it. She's not worth 5 seconds, frankly. But it's worth many seconds, a selfie home. I love the stuff. In fact, I just mailed off a couple people. I think I've got one more pack. If you got my email address, I'd be willing to send you some of the what is the STEM Active Gel. I got another box that I need to part ways with. So if you have and you want, let me know. Otherwise, it's cool. Yes, so we've got danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Incredible products. Healthy Home, Heal Thy Home. Again, a lot of the products I talk about are about healing, healthy thinking, being prepared for inevitable things, but medicines are kind of, important. So it's a way to keep ourselves as safe as possible and help you sleep. But STEM Active is huge. It just increases the stem cells in your body. It doesn't act internally. It doesn't add stem cells to you. It's plant-based. It actually causes your body to increase 25 to 40% more stem cells within a very short period of time. And what those do, those are like your healing cells. They can go anywhere and become any cell in the body. If cartilage needs to be replaced, there's a cartilage cell. It's literally specific. It's a cartilage cell for the rest of its life. Instead of just trying to create cartilage, which your body does, you've got stem cells that also can run in and try to help too. So it helps joints. It's helping with all sorts of stuff. I had issues with my shoulder. I was taking this. I was having pain when I was working out. I dislocated it when I was younger. And I started taking this 3 weeks in. I was like, whoa, it doesn't even hurt anymore. Now, again, I'm not going to go to the batting cage and assume that it's completely healed. No, I'm reasonably sure I'll pop it back out, and there's no way in hell I want to do that again. It's extraordinarily painful. But it helped so I could work out, and that was good because it was causing some weird imbalances, and it's just not good. So STEM Active helps your body heal, and as we age, obviously the healing process begins to go down. This helps it go back up a little bit. So they got a gel, they got a STEM Active, the pills. I like the pills a lot better. That's why I'm getting rid of the gel. My girlfriend liked the gel, and she stopped taking it, so I've got some. I need to get rid of it. And I'd rather give it to you guys so you can try it than necessarily just throw it away or something stupid, right? So it's all cool. Balance, ladies, going through the transition. If you're transitioning into baby making, this is helping young ladies a lot. If you're transitioning out of baby making, this is having amazing results. People go through hot flashes. They've got emotional swings. We've got all sorts of things that happen from what I understand. And there's also synthetic hormones that they give you also or can. This has no hormones in it. It's plant-based. But I've talked to two totally different sources, two ladies on the same call. It's pretty awesome. One of them was taking the synthetic hormones, loved them, took the balance, made things even better. The other was taking the synthetic hormones, didn't like them. She started the balance, and that fixed it for her. But again, it immediately starts to help deal with a lot of these things that are happening in you. It's plant-based, helps your body process it itself. And again, it's bringing balance in relationships and how you feel and your temperature and your sleeping and all that stuff. Your emotions. It's bringing balance back to your life. It's giving you the control. And they talk about the clicks. How many clicks? 1, 2, 3 clicks. So depending on how much you need, it's transdermal lotion. Put a little on your wrist. You rub them together. Depending how much you need, that's, one tube. If you're only doing 1 click a day, that'll last you like 3 months. If you're doing 3 clicks a day, you're going to be replacing this monthly. So it's up to you. But it is an incredible one to try. And if you're having some uncomfort through this process, this is one of the things that's going to make an amazing difference. Also, one of the things, our hair, our fingernails, joints, skin, collagen's your friend. And this is a peptide. It means it's the smallest molecule. That's what a peptide is. Anybody that talk about, it's a peptide, they don't even know what it is. Peptide is just the smallest version of that molecule. It absorbs ultra quick. Now, a lot of people have a powder. Powders, if you have a powder and you're stirring it into whatever, and you ever notice that it's not fully dissolving in the cup, that's what it's doing in your stomach. It's not fully dissolving there either. And many are saying they're getting like a paper mache kind of thing on the stomach wall from a lot of this nasty, cheap collagen that's out there. This is incredible. It's a liquid. It's always a liquid. You don't have to mix it or anything. It's already a liquid. It is incredible. It's great tasting, and it is very easy to just tear the pouch off and and you're done. You're down. You're happy. It's making a huge difference with, like I said, hair, skin, nails, joints, all that stuff. Check it out. It's called Amaze. It will amaze you. Prime, high energy. It's just more oxygen in your blood. It's going to get that pumping through you. You're going to be up and awake, and you're going to love it. It is a game changer when it comes to energy. You don't feel like a caffeine high even, like anything like that. You just do stuff, and you're like, normally I'd be a little more tired. I'm walking up and down the stairs easier, and I'm not huffing and puffing as much. It's because your blood's carrying more oxygen. It's just more oxygenated. Because of that, it's feeding everything better. And so everything's not getting as juiced over, or toxed out, or whatever, right? It's helping hugely. And also STEM Active for your pets. And it's about half the price of what you pay for you. But your pets have the same problems, especially if they're going through a surgery or anything strange like that. If they've got the need for, injury healing, this is a great thing. If they've got joint problems, hip problems, this is another great thing. This isn't necessarily like Pet Club, which I need to do a Pet Club commercial again. That stuff actually kind of heals. That mushroom is really, really cool. Coriolus versicolor, that actually heals the pet. So if your pet's got ailments or sicknesses, I would definitely go to Pet Club. That's danradiostyle.petclub247.com. Seriously, go to that. That's huge. But from the standpoint of like us just trying to heal our own wear and tear on the body, or like surgeries and stuff like that where you need actual skin, needs to kind of grow back and things like that. Joints need more help because they've been through a surgery. Those types of things for sure. You want to get your dog on STEM Active. I mean, if you really care about them, this is one of those things you take forever, and it just continues to just give you a leg up. And so it's incredible stuff. You want to go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. And just make sure you stay healthy. That's what we're trying to do here. So once again, danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. All right, there we go. All right, stopping corruption. So much easier said than done, usually. But we got Chip Roy, who, I don't know, he's one of the ones I think I like. Every once in a while he pisses me off, but I think he's in that Freedom Caucus. Most of the time he's on the right side of things. Very few times. It's not like some of the others, but anyway, I'm liking him today.
At some point, people will look at this body and say, maybe we should get rid of all 435 members of the House and all 100 members of the Senate and start over, because Congress is literally failing the American people.
First, we got to get the elections under control, and then that's exactly what we're going to do, Chip. It's exactly what we're going to do. And hopefully, if you keep talking like you are now, you'll get reelected. Many won't. Donald Trump truth this out. California under Gavin Newsom, Governor Gavin Newsom, Newscum even says, is more corrupt than Minnesota, if that's possible. The fraud investigation of California has begun. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Kate Miller posted this. Tomorrow is 1 year since the Palisade fire. Not a single home has been rebuilt. There you go, Gavin Newsom. Great job, Gavin Newscom. Gavin Waltz. What are we going to call him? We got to come up with a cool name. This dude's rocking and rolling. I love this guy. This is the Riverside Sheriff, and he is a freaking rock star. Was it Todd Bianco? I think it is. Bianco's his last name for sure, but I feel like his first name's Todd. Am I right? Doesn't matter. As California Sheriff standing against Gavin Newsom since 2019, I promise you that the corruption is more widespread than anyone realizes. The fraud and taxpayers-funded money laundering in California is deeper and more egregious than most people can comprehend. Join hashtag Team Bianco at his www.biancoforgovernor.com. Any Californians out there want to hop in there? That's certainly a good idea. Trump cuts off $10 billion in funding to 5 blue states for child care, social services over fraud. Now, he just shut it down. 5 different states. He's getting rid of 2 different programs. So there's the Child Care Development Fund, CCDF, and the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, TANF, or TANF. Okay, so there's 2 CCDFs and TANF. They're getting rid of 2 different amounts, about $7.35 billion of the TANF money. It's going to be prevented from going to California, Colorado, Illinois, Minnesota, and New York. The CCDF funding block is about $2.4 billion, and it also affects all of those states. And there's another $869 million from the social services block grants coffers that is being kept from all 5 states as well. I'm sure they're going to sue, and they might win. I don't know how that's going to work, but they might be able to get an emergency stay also, because we know there's fraud happening. So to continue to give money away is actually more damaging, because we'll never get it back, especially if it's being sent outwardly. So I almost think any apparent district court that might favor California in this, I think an immediate appellate decision would probably stop them and let this go first. And we're going to pause the money for a moment because there's a problem. So we'll see how this plays out, but this is going to get rough and tough, maybe. It's going to be interesting. CBS reporting that 2,000 federal agents are being deployed to Minneapolis to begin a 30-day surge in federal crackdown on immigration and fraud. I think the Smallies in Minnesota have officially reached the find out stage, hence why Waltz dropped out. This is about to get dirty in Minnesota. Following news of Minnesota fraud, Texas Governor Abbott directs investigation into his child care programs, which is fantabulous. Paul Sperry posted this scary little detail to us. Records show U.S. Capitol Police Captain Michael Byrd, the one that shot Ashley Babbitt without any warning, without any reason. He's been running an unaccredited daycare center with his wife, Kaleska, from their Maryland home since 2008. Maryland's recorded apparently spending about $190 million in HHS daycare funds. I don't know if he's receiving that much or if that's how much Maryland receives. $190 million. So this dude, Michael Byrd, the dude that shot Ashley Babbitt, likely has been in fraud as well. It's all the daycare stuff too, which is kind of funny. It must just be the easy way to do it. There's like this, the daycare fraud's insane. And then we could say we're giving more daycare, and everybody that's daycare. There was some chick that was talking about it's like $38,000 is what she's going to have to pay for daycare this year because she's, a legal person. Federal prosecutors just blew the lid off the $7 million SNAP scheme going on in Boston. This is longish, but we're gonna go ahead and play it. But I'm gonna try to speed it up a hair though, just so we can get to the nitty gritties. But all said, here is the SNAP fraud that Boston is now uncovering.
We are announcing federal charges against two men, Antonio Bonner and Saul Elisme, for large-scale SNAP benefit trafficking, a scheme that turned a program designed to feed families into a multi-million-dollar criminal enterprise. SNAP benefits are also known as food stamps. The defendants are charged with one count of food stamp fraud. As alleged in the charging documents, these men abused one of the government's most critical safety net programs for their own financial gain. This is taxpayer money meant to keep people from going hungry. These defendants decided to take it for themselves. These defendants exchanged SNAP benefits for cash, which they pocketed. Bonner, a naturalized U.S. citizen from Haiti, owned the Jesuela Variety Store. Elisme, a lawful permanent resident also from Haiti, owned the Saul Mache Mixe store. These two businesses were co-located within a single storefront in Boston. To be certain, these were not supermarkets. They were not full-service groceries. It would be a huge stretch to even call them convenience stores. In fact, the only thing convenient about these stores was how easy it was to commit SNAP benefit fraud. To put this in perspective, the Jesuela Variety Store is less than 150 square feet in size, smaller than some bathrooms. The Saul Mache Mixe store was approximately 500 square feet in space. By contrast, a supermarket can be 20,000 to 60,000 square feet in size, have a dozen or more registers, and employ numerous employees. Both the Jesuela Variety and Saul Mache Mixe stores had one register, no carriages, no hand baskets, and very little food for sale. One legitimate supermarket in the same area as these stores redeems approximately $80,000 in SNAP benefits per month. Over the last 20 months, the Jesuela Variety Store was redeeming between 3 and 6 times that amount monthly, with nowhere near the space, inventory, customers, or infrastructure to support it. The Saul Mache Mixe store redeemed over $120,000 in SNAP benefits in the last 6 months. Simply put, there is no plausible way SNAP-eligible food could have been purchased from these stores for this long. Yet, these two stores are alleged to have illicitly trafficked nearly $7 million in SNAP benefits.
And again, this is just one example. Chicago, just to talk about good news, only 12 people were shot during the first weekend of 2026. I don't know if that's good news or not. It's deep state cities, right? Places that are going to have problems. A voting machine company charged in the Philippine bribery and money laundering scheme. You guys do remember the story, I hope. Did you know Smartmatic's VP of Global Services, Eli Moreno? He's a dual citizen of Venezuela and Israel. Did you also know he, along with Smartmatic itself and other executives, were indicted out of the Southern District of Florida 2 months ago? And then the Venezuela thing happens. Wonder what we knew that we don't say we know, but we're probably going to find out. Trump said there's going to be truckloads of information. Here's Harmeet Dillon talking about, election problems, but she's working on it. They still don't want to give up the voter registrations for the blue states, and there's lawsuits going on. And again, we will get things cleaned up, even though they're fighting it. And I can't wait. The ones that hold out the longest, think about how much crap they've got on their voter rolls. Even if they start trying to clean them before they hand them over. Now, if they do anything to the data, that'll be interesting because that would be illegal. So I'd be curious to see if anything like that happens either. Again, whatever. Here's Harmeet talking about it.
So you have an ongoing lawsuit against the state of Washington and our Secretary of State, Steve Hobbs, over voter information. So have they given you, and it's not just our state, it's other states as well, have you been given a good reason as to why they won't provide you with the totality of the voter information that you're seeking?
Well, states are typically invoking state privacy laws. And also, in the case of many states, they just don't like the government asking for this information. And, they want to limit what we do with it. We have some limits in our statutory authority, but I'm not agreeing to additional limits beyond that because Congress wrote these laws and I get to enforce them on behalf of the Attorney General. So we're litigating it out, and courts are eventually going to rule one way or the other on our data requests. But I will say that several states have voluntarily cooperated, no questions asked. I'm close to reaching a resolution with another 10 states. Had a meeting yesterday with 2 secretaries of state who came to meet with me from red states, and I discussed their questions and concerns, and I think I addressed them. And so I expect to get cooperation from them. So overall, I think you're going to end up seeing about half the states or more cooperating with us, and a minority of states not cooperating, including Georgia, which we're about to sue, and some other states like that.
Yeah, and it's getting pretty bad in the big picture, and we just got to get them cleaned up. We got to get access to them, and we'll see if they ever allow us to. Well, and again, this is going to be a fun ride, to say the least. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp has just announced a special election for Georgia's 14th congressional district following Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene's resignation. That vote's going to happen March 10th, 2026. Hopefully it gets replaced with someone good instead of someone sucky like that's been there. Problem child. More corruption, just for fun. Joe Biden, one of the most corrupt politicians in U.S. history, arguably the worst. He's using a loophole to get the largest pension of any president in history. Former President Joe Biden's long career in politics has allowed him to earn $417,000 a year, much more than his salary as president. According to an analysis by the National Taxpayer Union Foundation, Biden is taking salary from 2 pension funds. NTUF Vice President Demian Brady calls it highly unusual. Biden is earning twice the amount earned by Barack Obama and $17,000 more than his own presidential salary. Well done, sir. Well done indeed. More breaking news here. Somali UN ambassador, who is now the president of the UN Security Council, which is just insane if you think about it, could be in legal trouble after revelations he operated a fraudulent home health care company in Ohio. They're saying start the deportation process, but HHS says they can confirm the Somali ambassador is in fact associated with Progressive Health Care Services, a home health agency in Cincinnati. HHS has previously taken action against Progressive in response to a conviction for Medicaid fraud. More to come. And he's Somalian president, and he's also head of the Security Council. The council that can actually, like the Venezuela thing, try to get mad at us. I hope the UN Security Council says something about what we did in Venezuela. We're going to sanction the United States. All right, you go ahead. You sanction away, buddy boy. You have a good old time. I got this. Kind of makes me sick to play, but I'm just happy that people are seeing this and realizing this, and so I'm going to let you have your own opinion about this.
This is why they hate Trump, because Trump was the first candidate since JFK to actually want to declare war on the intel agencies and bring the power back to the sovereign. And both him and Kennedy got shot.
Yes, well, I am just in many ways, I think it would just pain Charlie to see everything that's happened since he passed. I think it would just pain him to see what Trump has become. He's become a deep state, obviously, and never have I ever seen a more aggressive psychological operation or a more obvious operation, for that matter, than everything that the intel agencies have been trying to impart upon the public since Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
Chick's worth $200 million, guys. $200 million. It's worth a lot of money. Yeah, there you go. Interesting. She's trying to take down the things she used to be a part of. I have zero respect for that chick. Zero respect for that chick. Gold and silver up today. Silver's up a bit, 5+%. I'm just wondering if it's going to reset itself. It might. But right now it's sitting at $80.70. But again, that could change here in a moment. Well, you notice how they tried to shut it down really low, and they did right before the end of the year. Because from what I understand, too, there was a lot of discussions, but there's no real for sure's yet. But that a lot of the paper contracts came due. They were shorting them, and they might have somehow managed to buy a whole bunch more to cause the price to go down, but all they did was kind of kick the can down the road. Maybe they hit their short price, but in the process, they created a bunch more debt. Again, how that all plays out, it's that scheming that really does mess with the silver prices. Fact of the matter is, and this is what's coming to the surface, and this is why owning silver is one of the smartest things you can do right now. But over the coming short period of time, the fact that manufacturing and everybody else is using silver and needs silver, and they've got contracts out for physical silver that they can't fill necessarily, and this hasn't really hit the public yet. A lot of the stock market trading on silver is paper contracts. They'll take one coin in silver and they'll sell 20 paper contracts against it. Just making numbers, but way more than one. Theoretically, I should be able to sell one, but they fractionalize this, assuming that nobody is going to ask for it, and if they do, it's not going to be more than one person. Problem is, sometimes a whole bunch of people say, no, I want it. And then they're like, ugh. So the only thing they can do is to pay off those purchases. Now, right now, there's a lot of people that are talking about selling silver. That is a very bad idea. If you need money, then do it. But otherwise, it's a horrible idea. Everybody's like, oh, it's worth a whole bunch. That's stupid. Don't do it. It's because we're getting rid of this stupid Federal Reserve note anyway. So getting more of those is a bad idea. Again, you can get into crypto, which is also not a great idea either. It's all over the place. It makes no sense. It's not attached to anything physical. This thing's actually used in manufacturing. This is just used to transfer money, actual wealth, one type of currency to another location, be it silver, gold, to rubles, to yuan, to whatever. I can use crypto, but it's not valuable in any way, shape, or form. It's a pass-through. So investing in it is, in my opinion, it will go up. It's volatile as hell. You can make money on it. Is it a good investment? No, it's just a horrible investment unless you plan on day trading with it. And then it's a great idea. You can make money. You can play around a bunch. So I don't recommend it. Physicals is really where it's at. Gold and silver is a crazy thing. And, well, you can get your 401k or IRA, you can get that actually transferred into a precious metals backed IRA. Same thing, still pre-tax. It's the reason why they move it tax-free, penalty-free. They're going to move it sideways. They're not, and they are buying physical metals. And this is one of those things too, where the longer you wait, some of these things, a lot of us are going to want silver. I want silver. I want silver. Well, silver is one of those things that's going to start becoming hard to get. So understand that. They don't get you a paper contract. They get you actual physical silver. It's put in a trust. DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. Get out of their system into physical precious metals that are actually worth something. It's actually physical, and they can send them to you as a payment. I'd like some of those coins sent to me. All right, how many? All right, some silver coins. Okay, that's the equivalent of this amount of income right now. We got to report to the IRS. You'll be like, all right, that's fantastic. Thank you. And they will send you those coins. DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. Another funny thing about Goldco, they're going to give you up to 10% free silver. Up to 10%. So if you go in $100,000, you're going to divest over. $100,000, right? You're going to get up to 10%. That'd be $10,000 in this case of free silver. $10,000 of free silver. That's the one that's multiplying in value quickly, by the way. It's going up very quick. And there's expectations of it hitting numbers that I can't believe, frankly, yet. But the way things are going to go and with inflation and everything, probably. It's very possible. It might be the thing that everyone said XRP would be, which it still hasn't come. Though XRP has gone back up a little bit, by the way, just to give fairness out. I still own some, too. I haven't sold any of it, frankly. 2.27, so it's getting there. It's getting back up where it was. All said, DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. Move out of that system, tax-free, penalty-free. Get some free silver along the way, and possibly a Ronald Reagan coin. It's half-ounce silver, collectible coin with Ronald Reagan on the front. It's literally a half ounce of silver, so it's worth that just in sheer weight. But collector's value, it's worth much more. They're going to give that to you if you're willing to call within 20 minutes. You put in your 4 data points, hit the button, little thing's going to pop up, and probably a picture of that coin or something cool, and maybe my stupid face. I don't even know. I have to actually do that one of these days and see what it looks like. But that said, you're going to get that cool coin. Go to DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. I really wouldn't wait. The value of your Federal Reserve notes going down. That's what your stock market number is baked off of, right? When you look at, this is what it's worth right now. It's the highest it's ever been. Yeah, those Federal Reserve dollars. Look at how gold and silver have actually inflated or gone up in price. Look at that percentage from where it was beginning to end. And then what's your portfolio done? And if it's done anywhere near as good as gold, which I'm sure it hasn't, then you've lost buying power. You lost ability to purchase stuff. You may have more money, but that money is going to buy you less. Again, back in 1913, you could get 30 chocolate candy bars, Hershey's chocolate candy bars for $1. 30 chocolate candy bars, $1. Today, $1, you can get a discount bag of gummy worms. That's it, for $1. That's inflation. That's buying power. Get out. Gold still buys the same thing. It would buy me a fully tailored suit back in 1913. It'll still buy me a fully tailored suit. Buying power. That is what you are saving. That is what you are protecting. It's not the dollars. It's the buying power. You want to save your money. DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. All right, we get out of that. All right, so I called this E equals AI squared just because it's kind of funny to me. Two different power things happening. It's kind of cool. Centrus Energy soars after DOE awards $2.7 billion for uranium enrichment. The two different kinds of enrichment they're going to be doing, and they're going to be used in some of the newer reactors that are coming online. So we've got some very, very cool stuff coming to help support this new future. It's obviously not happening super quickly, though China is building nuclear power plants a lot faster than us. Who knows? We'll see how that all plays out. We've got the technology. They kind of steal it and then reverse engineer it, but we'll see. They're not really good at creating their own stuff, and they're going to be stuck doing that with chips soon. Vistra jumps after buying 10 natural gas-fired power plants for $4 billion, so that's more production. This is going to affect the eastern and Texas regions of electricity. It's not going to affect the West, it sounds like, at all. But again, it's about 5.5 gigawatts, they're saying, total capacity. These 10 different plants, and they're natural gas fired, which is something we're abundantly pulling out of the ground now, and we've actually got a lot of it in this country. So again, it's a very good source of fuel to use. Hilton. Okay, this is before we get pissed off at Hilton, it's not really Hilton's fault. Hilton, I feel like, has done everything proper that they can. But there is this Hampton Inn brand called Hampton Inn by Hilton Lakeville. This is just outside of downtown Minneapolis. If for some reason you ever use that hotel, never, ever, ever use it again, ever. In fact, basically, long story short, they're not giving rooms to ICE agents. Hilton found out about it and then had a talk with them. And they're like, oh, no, totally, that's wrong. We shouldn't do that. Yeah, we're sorry. And so then Hilton comes out publicly and says, yeah, they're sorry. It's cool. Everything's cool now. Hilton we got on front of this. And then almost immediately, Hilton comes back out and says, we have now disassociated ourselves with these guys because they lied to us. So this is no longer affiliated with Hampton Inn because that brand is based off of Hilton. They have legally lost that right to be called that. So whatever the case is, Hampton Inn by Hilton Lakeville, that's a trash place. Don't do anything to it. Just never, ever patronize them again. Ever. Again. Ever. And there's probably like two of you that actually might even know where that is, right? So whatever. So yeah, all sorts of crap came out about this. I think I gave you guys the skinny without having to do it all. Let's see, Hilton drops them, and because they lied, so they dropped them. They dropped the brand. They've dropped them. That dropped Minneapolis. Hilton drops Minneapolis hotel that lied about the immigration scandal. So again. All right, let's get going. Trump expresses his concerns over the looming Supreme Court decision on tariffs. He continues to try to keep this on the front burner. This is something that all of us need to be thinking about. In my opinion, what I would like is prayers that the Supreme Court sees the value of maintaining tariffs, and hopefully even something to the effect of Congress gave him the power to do this, Congress can take it away. But so long as Congress has given it to him, he's allowed to use it. And, so something to that effect. We need to stay positive. The Supreme Court's going to come out with a positive decision with tariffs. This is really important. And if you guys want to throw a little prayer, mental thought towards that, that would be very helpful in the big picture. That would be a ripple that would be very, very appropriately felt. Florida's made nearly 20,000 immigration arrests in 2025. Not bad, huh? They're working it. You go, DeSantis, huh? See, just being short's not a bad thing, dude. There's the fact that you tried to change the shortness because some publicist told you, hey, they want tall people. So you're going to walk around fake tall. And then one day you're going to take off your boots. Somehow you're sitting halfway up inside of them. I don't even know how you don't fall down on that. It's just like a giant heel, I guess. Yeah, whatever. ICE arrests 118 illegal aliens in Sanctuary, California, including sex offenders and drunk drivers. Good job. I'm sure that's pissing off somebody. San Luis Obispo County and Santa Barbara County, so north of me for shizzle. Interesting. Car theft has plummeted. Do you know that? Since a lot of the exporting of aliens, illegals, and all that stuff. It's weird. And maybe even sort of taking control of, some of the trafficking for sure. That's probably cut a hole in their money. And without the money, they can't do a lot of other things. So there's probably a lot of factors coming together, right? We're seeing it all happen. USPS, they're going to be phasing out non-domiciled contracted truckers. It says they're going to monitor this contractor performance and safety data to reduce accidents across its network. So this is good. A step in the right direction. I don't need to necessarily play it. Also, this is pretty cool. Luxury handbags. This actually happened pretty close to my house, where I live. And it's pretty awesome. And the police department, and you don't really want to mess with Irvine Police Department. Irvine is literally one of the safest cities in the world because of the fact that there's I think there's 3 cops for each individual person that lives there. Pretty crazy. I'm making that number up, of course, but it is funny. But we had a bunch of people that tried to steal some handbags, expensive ones, in one of our luxury stores. And the cops, security caught them. Security saw them. Cops showed up, and it's.
I'm out with your hands up, all the way out, or you're gonna get hit. Start crawling out of my laser now. Keep going.
Hell yeah. Don't mess around in Orange County, folks. Don't mess around in Orange County. We do not tolerate bullshit in this county. 51st State. A lot of news happening about this, and this is pretty fun. We're going to start here because it's our good friend Stephen Miller, Mr. Dr. Stephen Miller. I don't think he's a doctor, but he's on CNN and just being savage about this whole stupid question. Again, it's the way the media likes to do it. They like to phrase you into a corner, and we're doing it right now in a different way, but they like to phrase you into a corner, and then based off of how you responded, that's kind of like, where do they bury the survivors? And what's another one where you make something ridiculous, and then you're like, but only gay people say no. What's your answer? This is just weird, stupid little things that you do to people where you try to force them into admitting something like stupid because the question itself has that implication built into it. I can't give any good examples right now other than what they do here, which is a perfect example. I'll let that one stand. How about that?
Important topic. The Premier of Greenland and the Premier of Denmark and other Danish officials are responding to a Twitter post from your wife, Katie Miller, herself a former Trump White House official, showing Greenland covered with an American flag, saying soon. After that was posted, President Trump repeated the claim that the U.S. needs Greenland for national security reasons. The Danish Prime Minister responded to this in an interview earlier today, as reported by Bloomberg, quote, "I believe one should take the American president seriously when he says it wants Greenland, but I will also make it clear that if the U.S. chooses to attack another NATO country militarily, then everything stops, including NATO, and thus the security that has been established since the end of the Second World War." Can you rule out that the U.S. is ever going to try to take Greenland by force?
Well, let me go back a step. The president has been clear for months now. So I know you're treating this as breaking news. The president has been clear for months now that the United States should be the nation that has Greenland as part of our overall security apparatus. The United
States, but your wife
NATO
posted that hours after the Venezuela operation.
No, but
that's why it's newly relevant.
No, I'll talk with you about it for an hour. I think it's a really important conversation. I just wanted to reset, Jake, by making clear that it has been the formal position of the U.S. government since the beginning of this administration, frankly, going back into the previous Trump administration, that Greenland should be part of the United States. The president has been very clear about that. That is the formal position of the U.S. government.
Right, but can you say that military action against Greenland is off the table?
It wouldn't be military action against Greenland. The Greenland has a population of 30,000 people, Jake. The real question is, by what right does Denmark assert control over Greenland? What is the basis of their territorial claim? What is their basis of having Greenland as a colony of Denmark? The United States is the power of NATO. for the United States to secure the Arctic region, to protect and defend NATO and NATO interests, obviously Greenland should be part of the United States. And so that's a conversation that we're going to have as a country. That's a process we're going to have as a community of nations.
So you can't take
it
off the table that the U.S. would use military force to seize Greenland. You can't take it off the table.
Jake, I understand you're trying very hard to, which again, is your job. I respect it. It's great to get exactly the headline, right? That catchy headline.
I'm trying to get an answer to the question.
That says Miller refuses to rule out the United States should have Greenland as part of the United States. There's no need to even think or talk about this in the context that you're asking of a military operation. Nobody's going to fight the United States militarily over the future of Greenland.
Here's what is happening. Now, whether the paperwork's been signed already, and that's quite possible, that happened last time Trump went and saw the king. But I believe it's through the crown, maybe through the Denmark crown, but whatever the case is, it's tied back up to the crown, this idea that Greenland belongs to Denmark. So what he's saying, and it's very careful, that first off, they're talking about us taking it over, or taking it from Denmark. What he's saying is, who's so sure Denmark has rights to it? Who's to say that maybe that's not true, or at least anymore, or maybe it never was? Maybe there's a different way to come about this that won't involve Denmark anyways. And maybe it will be something that we'll be allowed to have. And maybe this is something that's being negotiated too through NATO, since that was brought up. Interesting angle. They choose their words very carefully. But again, they're trying to say, well, you're ruling war out. So if you rule out war, then that means you can't ever do it. Or you're accepting their premise that there's going to be a war. And what Stephen Miller did beautifully was, no, let's not even talk about that. That's ridiculous. Let's talk about what the actual thing is, which is we always wanted to make sure that we should be the ones basically protecting Greenland, and we'll help take care of them much better than Denmark can. Denmark increased their military spending by adding one more dog sled, literally. One more sled of dogs. One sled, some more dogs. I'm sure that costs some money. But there's only 30,000 people in Greenland. Problem is, we want to put bases and we want to put radars installate. We want to put like something crazy, space stuff. Like we want to put some major stuff, which would imply to me too, to a degree, that maybe some of the stuff that's a little crazy and a little woo that's going to be happening in the future might be coming more from the North Pole facing side of the planet, and they want to get some better technology from us up there, because we, other than Alaska, might be helpful to have another place on the other side of the continental United States. We'd be covering a lot more land in the big picture. Denmark says U.S. attack on Greenland would mean an end to NATO. Again, this is the spin they're putting now. Bloomberg, of course. It's the angle they want to run with it. But that's not what we're saying. That's not what he's saying. Again, it's just the bullshit. It's the bullshit. It's fantastic. All right, we got a bunch of crap. Speaking of bullshit, Venezuela. I want to start with something fun, because it's funny. And I think I got something else that's kind of pretty crazy. But this right here is just fantabulous. I got on like a weird shorts rant and ended up fine. I got 3 of them that I shared. I just like followed a bunch. I'm like, that's a damn, my audience might like that one. Anyways, this one made me laugh. Check it out. I'm sorry, I can watch those things for hours. I love it. All right, here's some more. This is a really good one. This is showing the reality of modern might. What I want you to kind of pay attention to, which I think is really interesting, and this, part of me thinks this is a technology reveal. That maybe they didn't necessarily want to, but how weird would it be to have an aircraft that looks like a cloud? Just visually, or maybe is, and maybe just able to loiter, or able to hide within a cloud because it can create a cloud, whatever. How cool would it be to have a craft that could do that and then just rain down bullets, missiles, whatever the frick these are? You'll see. This is weird. That's all I'm going to say. And there's other cool parts to this, but this, just pay attention. We'll play it twice, just because it's so damn cool. But this part in particular, where the cloud is, it seems like the bullets are coming out of it, which is craziness. So to China and Russia. See, it's one thing to launch a bunch of missiles off into the ocean. We shot 37 missiles. It's another thing to do this. Fly into the enemy, land at one of their military bases, run inside of that military base, grab the president of the country as the safety door is closing in the safe room, or whatever that goes, probably bunker. They would have got him out, they say, anyway, but, right? Like, grab him, get him out of the country, and then safely back to the United States. All the while, we actually didn't lose. We had some injuries. We did not lose any troops, thank God. And we had one aircraft that apparently was damaged. We did not lose it. It managed to get back home. We did all that. We have a fucking cloud that shoots shit out of it. I mean, how? So China, Russia, yes, you have hypersonic missiles. Yeah, we got fucking clouds that can shoot. What do you got? You got missiles? Better be careful. Anytime you see a cloud, China and Russia, a cloud, China and Russia. You ever just seen a weird cloud in the sky? I have, actually. It really makes me have an idea what it is now. I've seen it before. Have you guys seen them? I think we've seen these craft. Disclosure. Anywho, maybe I kicked that dead horse enough. Trump speaks to House Republicans about 2026 agenda and Maduro's capture. It's kind of a weak story. Whatever. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. It's not that good. I was trying. Wasn't my girl Alice. It's this man. Chinese consulate security guard prepper sprays people celebrating Maduro's arrest. This is actually pretty solid because he got arrested. This was in Los Angeles, but these were Asian folks that were protesting, and they were stoked about the Venezuela thing. This security guard. Oh.
Next, Chinese residents gathered outside the Chinese consulate in Los Angeles on Sunday to celebrate the arrest of Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro. But the gathering took an unexpected turn when a security guard from the Chinese consulate responded aggressively. Here's that story.
Local residents gathered outside the Chinese consulate in Los Angeles on Sunday to celebrate the arrest of Nicolas Maduro. But tensions began to rise after a security guard from the Chinese consulate began threatening participants with pepper spray. According to the event organizer, towards the end of the event, the security guard followed through with his threats and began pepper spraying the crowd. 8 people were injured, with 3 people taken to the hospital for treatment. The security guard was later arrested by the police at the scene. Records from the Inmate Information Center shows he is currently facing a felony-level charge. Meanwhile, following Nicolas Maduro's appearance at a federal courthouse on Monday, some of the Chinese demonstrators said the news brought a mix of emotions.
As soon as the news broke, I shared it with my friends online. What shocked me was how many people inside the system wanted to like my post. My Venezuelan friends told me that when people fight for freedom back home, the government shoots them. That immediately made me think of China's June 4th.
Several attendees said they hope China's Communist Party, which has repeatedly promoted a, quote, shared future partnership with Venezuela, will ultimately face the same fate. Li Jianjie, the event organizer, said, though, that their fight is far from over.
Our suffering hasn't ended. We hope that one day, like Venezuela, we can also bring an end to authoritarian rule. I urge the U.S. and the international community, just as you once helped the Venezuelan people push back against Maduro's regime, please also support the Chinese people. I believe one day the Communist Party will be overthrown, because sooner or later it will collapse.
That's also what we're seeing play out. The collapse of communism. Now, how this plays out, and maybe that's when the reunification with Taiwan happens, is once CCP has kind of had its ending, because I just don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off. I don't know if they have the strength anymore. There's a lot of rumors, but nothing really gets out of China. It's very strange, but they've had Facebook help them and everything. They've had the best tech in the world build their devices to keep everyone locked in. It's been the experiment all along. All along, it's been the experiment that China would see if it could maintain 1.5 billion people, and has demonstrated that they could. It's really what the CCP all has been about. Because the one government, the one rule that they wanted to have, they were going to use China-tested technology globally. That is what... You don't roll something out globally without testing it. And they were already trying to pop it out in a few new nations because they're like, we've got it. Let's do this. Come on. We'll never lose an election again. We caught it right on the cusp of it happening. You know, talk about a near-death experience. Most people don't realize it yet, and it's gonna micro down into people's lives here. It's kind of the way the wave works, right? We stop the initial brunt, but there's still this kind of movement towards that's gonna affect every one of us when it truly does hit. Some of us, I don't know. I might have seen some of it happen, but we'll find out. We'll find out. Certainly, I'm gonna think positively about where we're heading right now. That's really what matters. Cuba's security state colonization in America is proven by Delta Force. So 32 of the people that were killed, they're now like in Cuba very sad. The honor, gloria, right? Honor and glory. And it's the 32 intelligence people. Of the 40 casualties, I've heard it's actually a higher number, but of the casualties, 32 of them were, high-level Cuban security force people. Whoops. Sorry, Cuba. We told you. Shouldn't be there. We knew you were, probably, so I'm sure that building was targeted. Just saying. Injured U.S. warriors from Maduro raid land in Texas as details of fierce ground fire emerge. So I guess some people are starting to talk about some of the crazy shizzle they went through. But yeah, they did get a medvac flight home carrying some wounded members. And, there's probably an array of the woundings, but hopefully I don't think anyone died anyways at this point. Obviously not critical, I hope. But yeah, we had a F-22s, F-35s, B-1 bombers, and a fucking cloud that shoots shit there. Ship trackers spot a dozen alleged oil tankers fleeing Venezuela in dark mode. Yeah, they're trying to get away. Sorry. Again, Trump's watching all this stuff. They're probably, because J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio and two others, I don't know if they show up somewhere, but they're the ones that are actually kind of running the show over there. There's four of them. And anytime anybody gets out of place, I'm sure they're going to be like, look, here's the thing. You did this, you did this, you did this. You got like one more chance. This is it. You fuck it up, we're coming in and taking you. You better start hiding. And we'll just take one of them at a time until eventually. And everyone's going to be like, it's regime change. And we're even hearing it on, Candace Owen type people talking about, it's regime change. Shut the fudge up. No, it's not. What's different about this is the deep state's not putting the regime in. The good guys are letting them vote in their own people for once. And we're protecting it until they can do that. Now, hopefully this doesn't drag on. I don't think it will. Trump has proven to be very much a man of his word. So I don't think for a second that he's going to be there for a long time. Maduro, although he was not saying yes, it was a field goal, unfortunately. Maduro is going to stay in the New York jail. His next hearing is March 17th. Guess he's going to be Diddy's partner for a while. There was a funny meme where it was Diddy and him. Looked like Diddy was behind him too, which made it even funnier. But where Diddy's like, yeah, they took my oil too. That was damn funny. That made me laugh. I don't remember who it was. I'm sorry. Oh, here's the four guys. Cool. J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, Stephen Miller are essentially the rulers of Venezuela at the moment, for lack of a better way to put it. So there you go. That's the dream team. Trump's going to obviously take care of other shit. He's got other fronts that he's handling, so he needs people he can trust. This is the perfect place for J.D. Vance to cut his teeth as well. So this is good stuff. We got a lot of good stuff going on. I'm proud of America. It's been a long time. Today, the Trump administration, they're going to change the vaccination as a standard or scheduled. There used to be 72 jabs, and so we're now not doing that. They've lowered it down to 11. They're also suggesting that you break them apart and a whole lot of other things like that. So this is a big step towards health. And it's funny is it'll take a while to really prove, but over time, a lot of the kids that get less jabs will likely be far healthier down the road, make America healthy again. We've taken a huge step here. Folks, we're We're changing the world. We're living through a world change. Something to that effect. EU's carbon border tax goes live, and China's pissed about it. Has to do with like concrete, steel, and some other stuff like that. And it's because European Union stuff's become so expensive that other people just not having to care about global warming and greenhouse gases and all that stupid stuff are just like making stuff way cheaper than they are. And so they're like, it's not fair. So we're going to charge you a heavier tax. So that way when you sell stuff here, it's a tariff. So when you sell stuff here, you'll be less expensive, or more expensive, I should say. And that's what has happened. China's pissed about it. And so this is an interesting thing because no matter what, the European individual still has to pay the higher price. It's just whether or not China with the tariff is able to, do that. Now, again, China can lower their prices significantly and still beat the competition with the tariff. So they're just going to a degree, kind of make more money because they'll just charge out the money. I mean, they're not going to pay that. So we'll see how it all goes, but this EU's making a lot of bad choices. China's also pissed off at Japan right now, so they're kind of cutting them off some rare earths and other stuff. I think we are working on taking care of a lot of these codependencies. I think it's one big problem that China and the U.S. realized. Mostly, China hadn't finished dominating yet, and so because of that, they realized they're fudged because they control a lot of stuff, but we definitely have some very key things that they need, and we're not giving it to them anymore. We know they were stealing it. They're not stealing it anymore. Those days are done. In any place where they might be, they probably already swapped out a lot of the equipment. They're well aware of how China was doing what China was doing, and they've gotten rid of a lot of the politicians that were in the way, certainly students that were spying. It's still a problem, but there's a lot of places where very sensitive stuff is probably not likely being worked on the same way as it used to. So yeah, they got export controls for a lot of stuff. Gazprom is the Russian gas company, I guess, and they are talking about Europe's supply of gas, and they're like, based off their levels where they're at right now, they're not normally this low until the end of January. And here we are at the beginning of January, and they're already this low. They're suspicious that they're likely going to run out of gas sooner than they planned. And so Europe is in a problem, big time. And this deterioration of the European Union is going to be felt worldwide and certainly viewed worldwide. But the European people will finally have freedom from tyranny. That the European Union was the web that was forming around it. And then the UN was going to form around everything in the big picture. And then this software would be used to control us all. Anywho, that's all being unraveled, but you can hopefully understand it's extraordinarily painful and complex, all the different layers that we are peeling off. Trump flips. He has more info. Ukraine didn't target Putin residents with drones. He's basically saying, no, this didn't happen. He's basically saying, Russia's story's not true. He says that I don't believe that strike happened. Trump told reporters as he traveled back to Washington on Sunday after spending 2 weeks at his home in Florida, we don't believe that happened now that we've been able to check. So this idea that these missiles were actually targeting his residence, he's like, no, they weren't targeting the residence. Maybe targets nearby is what I'm guessing, but not the residence. So Ukraine is like, all right, kind of off the hook. Again, this might be another one of the other side was trying to create World War III or, or whatever we're going to call it, but nuclear attack, escalation, whatever. Russia straps man-pad missiles on Shahed drones to counter-attack helicopters. Now, just for guys that are out there, this is not like a version of a woman's period pad. Not that. No, man-pad. That's not what that is, though. I guess there are some dudes that get a little douchey once a month or something. But this is it's a handheld rocket for shooting down like helicopters and shit like that. Right? It's got a reasonably short range. I don't know. I'd figure 2 to 5 kilometers at best. It's pretty small, but it's able to track on the thing, and it can be attached, and it's not very heavy. because a person's supposed to carry it. So they've managed to put that on some of these drones. And what's happening is a lot of these drone bombardments, and this is kind of scary. It's an interesting escalation that we've now got flying robots is what we've got. That's exactly what's happening. So we're moving into that reality very quickly right now. Manned aircraft are going to be very dangerous to be in coming times. It'll be the real targets of opportunity will be manned craft. That said, it's still in the early phases, but leave it to Russia to do crazy stuff, crazy things during crazy times. I mean, they're excellent. They're experts at it. Probably the best ever on this planet, frankly. But yes, it's just crazy. So yeah, we've got flying roboted planes that are piloted. Actually, these things seem to have had some controls that go back, but just crazy technology. And helicopters. They're using helicopters, like the Apache and stuff, or the guns on them. As means to shoot down these drones. They're accurate. They can kind of control where they try to bring them down so they don't shoot at houses and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that they're doing with manned helicopters shooting down the drones. You can imagine Apache, how efficient it would be if you could get in even close to 3, 4, 5 of them. You got that helmet thing, wherever you look, the gun goes, right? So you're just target, frit. That'd be rad. Anybody that flew, hopefully you could single shot them. That'd be fun as hell. I can do this all day long. How many you got? 100? Wow, 25? Shit. This is a man. This has to be a man. Anyway, I'm just saying, guys. National Rifle Association is suing its own nonprofit arm. This is interesting. It's 42 seconds. Certainly worth it. Check it out.
And the National Rifle Association is suing its own nonprofit arm. The suit alleges the foundation is being used by disgruntled former board members attempting to take control of the NRA. The foundation was formed in 1990 to fund the gun rights organization's educational and charitable work. The lawsuit accuses foundation leadership of trademark infringement, unfair competition, trademark dilution, and unauthorized diversion of charitable assets, among other charges. According to court documents, the group alleges ongoing and threatened misuse of approximately $160 million raised by or with the NRA.
That's a dude, right? I'm not wrong. I'm not trying to be mean. I swear to God, I could see a shadow, and I swear there's an Adam's apple down here. Something moving around. I don't know what that is. Anyway, again, no slamming. It's cool. NTD News, you go, boy, girl. I'm trying to be a dick. Bring back, unless, I'm going to be so pissed, dude, if that Tang chick, if that's a boy, I am going to be bummed. That's going to really bum me out, guys. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Don't tell me, please, if you guys know. Alice Tang. Couldn't even remember her name. She's already a dude now in my mind. Was it Alan Tang? Oh, hottie. 6.2 earthquake has been reported in Shimane, Japan. I'm sure it's not really pronounced that way. No, 6.2. Again, good sized quake. Okay, I know I like to sound like an expert. Oh, Dan, you act like you know what you're talking about. I live in California. California and Japan are two of the most earthquake-prone places on the planet. Been through a few of them in my life. Oddly, we've been reasonably cool lately. It's been nice. I prefer it stay that way. I think I said that the right way. We'll find out. But 6.2 in Japan, we've got some crazy stuff going on with the magnetic field, the sun, and everything else. We're still in a solar maximum, but it does seem like that's waning. Again, there are, I think, 11-year cycles. So we're moving in the right direction. But at the same time, there's some complexities that come with that. All said, we got some fun stuff going on. I'll be talking more and more and more about the Earth's magnetic field. But the next time we get more measurements, I think it's quarterly, I want to say, where we get the new data, or even maybe yearly. But the data where it shows how much it's wandering and the direction it's wandering, but it's moving many, many kilometers a year. The actual pole, the South Pole, North Pole. Well, the South Pole's kind of staying sort of steady. North Pole's going in a weird direction. So maybe we're going to pay attention to what's happening. Folks, I saw this. I was like, no way. So I've been to where Mount St. Helens was, the petrified forest, just seeing the destruction and seeing the side of the mountain kind of blown out. But I've never seen slow motion footage of the moment it erupted. Here's a 1-minute video showing the moment of eruption. This will probably trip you out.
WFP. Oh, now we've got an eruption down here. Now we got a big slide coming off. The slide is coming off of the west slope. Now we got a whole great big eruption out of the crater. And we got another that opened up on the west side, and the whole west side, northwest side is sliding down. Go on, Jerry.
Damn, right? Like, I hope you saw that. That was literally the entire side of the mountain came down and exploded in 1 minute. I mean, it was slowed down, so it was even quicker than that, but holy shizzle. My grandparents lived out in Spokane, Eastern Washington, and they had a swimming pool. We just love going there in the summer. And they had ash all over the place. And we actually got some from the side of the road. I remember we put it in mayonnaise jars, right? Or as a dude I worked with in Tennessee used to call it man-ass, which I thought was funny as fuck. And mayonnaise jars. And we put it in there and we put the lid on it, right? And it's so fine that if you turned it over and did that, it would come out of the lid. It was that fine. It was I've never seen it before. It was crazy to me how fine that powder was. So yeah, getting in pools, getting in carburetors, getting in anything was horrible. That's why airplanes don't fly through it. This stuff is so fine, it'll destroy. Your plane would lose power and you'd be toast. Like toast. You don't fly anywhere near this stuff. Yeah, so anyway, just crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed that because that was wild. We are changing the world. And these guys, they effed up really bad. And we see it. And we're talking about it. And we have power. And they don't. We're part of this new change, this new world. Just keep helping imagine a better reality, a better tomorrow. And that is exactly what we'll have and where we'll be in a very short period of time. I love you guys. You guys are what are making it happen. My audience, you guys. You guys kick ass. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle.